everybody. So today is part one of my equipment maintenance series, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to tune a guitar. This is the most common form of maintenance that you'll be doing on your guitar, as you'll most likely be doing it every time or every other time you play. So let's get started. So I have my own strobe tuner up here, and I decided not to use it for the purposes of this video. Instead, I'm going to be using the Yousician app. It has a built-in tuner. That way you guys can see what's happening with my note as I tune it.
2 hours later. One eternity later.
So when you go into the Yousician app, you'll click on this little tuner right here. And when you start tuning, you're just going to tune one string at a time and move the appropriate tuner. So I'll start with the top string, the big E string. Alright, so this is telling me I'm a little bit flat. So you follow your string all the way up, and you'll find that it's this tuner. Now, to make sure that you're turning the tuner the right way, all you do is just watch the screen. That was the wrong way. And just keep turning it till you get it right in the center of that line. You want to make sure that the string that you're tuning corresponds with the string on the screen. So if I turned off the automatic button up here, and I wanted to tune the A string, but it's still set up for the E string, then it's going to tell me I'm way too high. Now, if you're using a regular clip-on tuner like this one, you have to remember which string is which note and make sure that you are turning the right tuner. I have made this mistake before where I was putting on a new set of strings and I was turning the wrong tuner but plucking the right string. So just make sure that you are turning the tuner that is for the string that you're tuning. Just keep on going through all the strings to tune them one at a time. A lot of guitars are different with how the tuners are set up. You can see that this has 4 on one side and 2 on the other. So these 2 are reversed from these 4. If you have a reverse headstock where all the tuners are on the bottom, then they're probably going to be reversed from a standard Strat setup. If you have, like, say, an acoustic or a Les Paul or something like that with 3 on one side and 3 on the other, then they're going to be reversed as well. But just pay attention to what the screen here is telling you. Once you get more experience in tuning your guitars, I would recommend upgrading to a clip-on tuner, not a cheap one, or get a tuner pedal because they're a lot more accurate. But if you are using a tuner pedal, just make sure you have it at the very beginning of your pedal run. Otherwise, the distortion and effects and everything are going to go through the pedal, and your tuning is going to be off. So let's go ahead and run through the rest of the strings real quick. And there you go, that's all there is to it. I would definitely recommend tuning your guitar every single time you play, especially if you have a cheaper guitar or cheap tuners or cheaper strings or brand new strings. The reason for that is cheap tuners, they let loose a little bit. The tuning stability is not very good. With cheap guitars, they tend to use parts that move a lot. And with cheap strings, they tend to stretch a lot. And new strings will stretch a little bit at the beginning when you first put them on, but over time they'll settle in. Now remember that things other than your actual guitar will affect your tuning. Things such as weather or moisture. In cooler temperatures, the strings will shrink a little bit, and that'll cause it to go sharp. If you go from a hot room into a freezer, then you'll definitely notice it. If you go from a cold room into a hot room, then the strings will tend to stretch a little bit, and that'll make everything go flat. Another thing that'll also affect your tuning is using the whammy bar, especially when your springs aren't broken in yet. They tend to stretch over time as well. So it's safest to just tune it every single time you play, especially until you get some ear training down and you're able to tell if it's out of tune or not. But that was all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.